215. Uh, Suwaid ibn al-Nu'man, he said, خرجنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عام خيبر. So Suwaid, he said that we went out with the Messenger of Allah in the year of Khaybar. Khaybar is a Jewish settlement that was north of Medina in the Arabian Peninsula. And in the 7th year, AH, after Hijrah, there was a conflict between the Muslims and the people of Khaybar because they were plotting against the Muslims a lot. So the Messenger of Allah went out towards Khaybar, and this man was one of the people who went out with him. So he narrates this incident. He says, حَتَّى إِذَا كُنَّا بِالصَّحْبَاء, until we reached the area of Sahba. Sahba means like a muddy, like a dusty yellow area, which is like somewhere in the middle of the desert. Till we reached this area in the middle of the desert, صلى لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم العصر. The Messenger of Allah led us in Asr prayer, and we prayed. فلما صلى دعا بالأطعمة. After he finished prayer, he called people. He said, let's eat now. So bring the food. So people brought the food. فَلَمْ يُؤْتَ إِلَّا بِالسَّوِيقِ. The only thing that was brought was sawiq. Sawiq is like a barley porridge that you mix with water. It's kind of like a barley soup water mixture. It's not the tastiest food, but it's actually very nutritious. And it's simple food, because when you travel, you don't get to have the best meals. فَأَكَلْنَا وَشَرِبْنَا. We ate and we drank. ثُمَّ قَامَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم إِلَى الْمَغْرِبِ. So then the Messenger of Allah got up and he prayed Maghrib. So he led the people in Maghrib. So they prayed Asr, they ate their food, and then they were about to pray Maghrib. فَمَضْمَضَ. The Messenger of Allah, he rinsed his mouth before he prayed Maghrib. ثُمَّ صَلَّى لَنَا الْمَغْرِبِ وَلَمْ يَتَوَضَّأ. He prayed Maghrib, he led people with Maghrib prayer, and he did not make wudu again. So this hadith is specifically about if you eat and you already had wudu and you're not going to make wudu again and you're about to pray, one of the things the Messenger of Allah ﷺ used to do, and he also used to tell other people to do, is he would rinse his mouth with water. He would just do the madmada. And this is just to remove the traces of food that's in your mouth before you eat. And so we learn a few things from this. First thing we learn is that the Messenger of Allah is traveling. He's in the middle of the desert. He prayed Asr. He did not combine Zuhr and Asr. And this is in the 7th year after Hijrah. So he would not always combine when he travels. Sometimes he didn't. He prayed Maghrib. He did not combine with Isha prayer. He just prayed Maghrib only. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that many people, many young Muslims, myself included, I was taught some things when I was a kid. And one of the things I was taught is that if you eat something and you're about to pray and you already have wudu, you should go and rinse your mouth with water. How many of you were taught that when you were young? Right? Several people, right? So many of us are taught that. And some of the things we're taught when we're young, purely cultural, no evidence in Islam for it. And some of the things that we're taught in Islam, like taught by our family members and stuff, it actually is in Islam. But if you ask the family members, they say, this is what our parents taught us, and this is what our parents taught us. Sometimes it has a basis, sometimes it doesn't have a basis. This is one of those things that it has a very clear basis. Is that the Sunnah? We talked about Sunnah yesterday. What the Messenger of Allah wanted us to do is that if you're not going to make wudu again and you ate food, it's recommended. You get more reward for doing it. Is if you rinse your mouth. Because what's going to happen, you have all these pieces of food stuck between your teeth and all of that stuff. You're not supposed to let that distract you while you're in the middle of prayer. In fact, to the point where if you have a significant piece of food and you let that food go into your mouth while you're praying, according to many scholars, that you're eating food. If you eat food while you're praying, your prayer is broken. That's why people ask the common question about chewing gum. Can I chew gum or can I keep my chewing gum inside my mouth while I'm performing my prayer? The thing is, if it's flavorless gum or you're not sucking on it or something like that, it's under your tongue or something like that, it doesn't count as eating. But if you're going to be chewing your gum and you'll be swallowing that flavor, it's like eating, so you shouldn't be doing that. So anyways, this is one of the practices that we should be following. If we eat, we already have wudu, we're not going to make wudu again. We should rinse our mouth with water, clean that out so we can focus on our prayer and we can be extra clean as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to practice this. Ameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.